keep on talking, marching up to freedom.
I remember that day. It was one of the hottest days of the summer. And we were marching with Dr. King. My father kept asking if I was okay. I told him I felt dizzy. But I was going to be all right. Then he stopped me. He put his hand on my shoulder. And he said, "Son, are you sure?" I told him I just need a drink of water. I felt that if I didn't get any water, I would faint. But the only place that I could get some water was a restaurant nearby. And in that window of that restaurant, there was a sign, "Whites only." I would not dare set a foot in that place. Something came over me, and I can't explain it. And I fell to my knees because I was so lightheaded. So my father picked me up, and he rushed over, and he kicked in the door of that white-only restaurant. And he yelled, "My son is sick. He needs water. Please help." And they replied, "Get out of here, boy. Your kind ain't welcome here." He told them, "No, I'm not going anywhere until I get the water that my son needs." There were 4 white men and 1 police officer there. And they stood up and they threw their drink glasses in their dinner plates at my father. He placed me down, and then they began to beat him, and they punched him, and they kicked him, and they took his life. And he looked at me, and the last words that he said was, "Son, go on. Keep on marching." I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to leave him there, but he told me, and so I did. That was the last time I would ever see him. They hid his body like nothing ever did. And no one did a thing about it. Here is his grave. I tell you this story, not for you, but so that you can forgive. This month is in honor of forgiveness and honoring all of the people who marched and who died for us. I thank you. I know that I was put on this earth for a reason. I can proudly say that I kept marching and I impacted.
They took me and my son from our home in Akron and brought us here today. Let me tell you about that journey that got me from there to here. We were called slaves. S stands for sacrifice. L stands for lied to. A stands for Africa. B stands for violence. E stands for executed. And that last S stands for stolen. They took us on that ship in shackles. That ride on that ship changed my life forever. We were crammed in that ship with no leg room. We hardly had any food to eat. And many people, they died. Then they took my son away from me and separated us. And the only thing that kept me going, that kept me alive, was thinking about him. What mother whose child is taken away wouldn't want to know if they're safe? Well, we got to this place called Virginia. My stomach was as tight as my fists, and the bruises on my arms were long. When I got off that ship, I looked for my son, but I couldn't find him anywhere. I dropped to my knees, scared and afraid. And then I heard a man describing my son, saying that he was for sale. And I looked up, and I saw him in a far distance. And I tried to run to him, but a white man knocked me down. Then I heard a voice say, "Sold." Then I was next. My master told me that if I worked for him for 6 years, he promised me that I would see my son again. But I was lied to. I never saw my son again. Now I know I haven't done anything special, but I stand here today to tell you to love your children, love your family. There are so many people like me that were killed and that worked, that allowed you to be where you are now. Thank God those days are over. I leave you with these words. Love others. Love yourself. Love the skin you are in. Now I know I was put on earth for a reason. I impacted history.
We, freedom riders, stood for something no one else would stand for or were too afraid to. We stood for justice, peace, and equality for all. We rode the interstate buses in the South to challenge laws that enforced segregated seating on buses. I never would have thought in my 30 years of living that I would be a part of something so monumental and cherished. When you look at my scars, my bruises, don't feel sorry for me. These bruises symbolize the strength and the ability to overcome adversity. God used me in this movement to become a part of something bigger than life. The war is not over. The fight still continues. There are freedom riders still fighting every single day. Each and every one of you are freedom riders, whether you classify yourself as one or not. Don't be ashamed to show your bruises and your struggles, because you don't define them. They don't define you. You define them. And I can proudly say that I was put on earth for a reason. I impacted history.
Nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. I'm gonna keep on walking, Lord, keep on talking, Lord, marching to the freedom land. Ain't gonna let no sheriff turn me